It's one of those rare Friday games for us Cougar Sports Saturday guys. But guys, what were your impressions coming off a tough Utah loss to play Middle Tennessee State this time?
It was a bizarre evening because when you have 5 turnovers, and especially when you turn the ball over inside the 5 multiple times, you don't necessarily expect a 27-point blowout.
Right.
So it's one of those things where you have a lot to work on because of the turnovers, but yet you feel a lot better working on them knowing that you're coming off a blowout win.
Did you actually think Robert and I's head was going to explode on those turnovers?
Well, it's not just the turnovers. It's the fact that the ball security all over the place, and that's something that Bronco attacked after the game. For once, fans could put their pitchforks away a little bit, this week for the Taysom Hill, calling for his head, because he threw the ball so accurately. But when you have mistakes like that, my goodness, you took points off the field again for the second week in a row. That had to be the thing that they talked about most last week. That many trips into the red zone and you don't score. BYU left at least 14 points on the field tonight.
And for Taysom's lone blight, his one interception, it was a perfectly thrown ball right to Paul Lasike that bounced off him and just kind of ruined a little bit of his perfect night because he really was perfect, wasn't he, Jason?
Yeah, there's no question about it. And so much over the first 3 games has been his passing efficiency. And he had a really good night throwing the football tonight. But he also was able to be the Taysom that we saw against Texas, where he was running the football. And you look at the common denominator in the 2 wins for BYU, tonight in Texas. It was offensive line play. They were able to do their job tonight, and then Taysom was able to do his job. He was able to survey the field, make his reads, and then make the proper decisions. And I thought tonight was a really good decision night for Taysom. He seemed to make all the right decisions.
It was almost comical in the post-game interviews. Everyone wanted to talk to Taysom about his passing, and it's like, oh, yeah, and by the way, he ran for 175 yards. And I asked Ross Oppo about that, and he's like, we know what Taysom can do with his legs. Are we overlooking the greatest running quarterback that we've ever seen here at BYU?
Well, so far, yardage-wise.
Besides Riley Nelson.
But, yeah. Yardage-wise, it's just Eldon Forti that really he has to overcome. And really, he was a running back. He wasn't a quarterback. But I mean, the reality is this is an anomaly. And you shouldn't feel comfortable with your quarterback with that many yards. When he's in the open field, he's the fastest guy on the field. But you do not want to see him taking that many hits and taking that many runs. That's where they missed Jamal Williams this evening, because the ball security issue and being able to spread that over the game. Yeah, they had 310 yards rushing. But, you can't feel great about your quarterback getting more than half of that.
Have you ever seen anything as crazy as the special teams on this team? I mean, they are absolutely electric, and they implode like no team I've ever seen.
Well, and Adam Hine finally got a huge kickoff return that was not called back from a flag. The funny part about it was there was a flag on the play, and everyone's like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And then you find out it's against, the Blue Raiders, and it's like, he finally gets to keep one of these. And speaking of Adam Hine, good news for him. And Bronco said he was out for 2 minutes. So he suffered a concussion. It looked like it may have been worse, but good thing for Hine that it, and I say just a concussion, but that it was something that, according to Bronco, he seems to be doing well with.
I was standing on that sideline as he was trying to get up, and there was nothing going there.
The groggy feeling.
And you can kind of laugh about it because thank goodness you saw him recover quickly. And Bronco said he recovered really quickly. I saw him after the game, and I was kind of walking, I stuck a camera in his face because that's what us idiots with cameras do. We stick it right in their face, and I kind of give him a thumbs up like, everything all right? And he's like, he kind of gave me a smile. I don't know what that means, but all I know is when he was coming off the field, there was no smile. There was this dazed and confused look. It was just unbelievable to see another BYU running back break down and get his bell rung or get hurt. But I was kind of impressed with what we saw from Algernon Brown.
And Bronco said that after the game. The hard running, and you saw him pick up on just those last 2 drives about 60 yards on about 8 carries. And so when you see something like that and you see how hard he was plowing through, that's what the coach is looking for. The injuries are going to be tough. When you think about Tyler Beck with a severe hamstring something, that's already a guy who's having to sit in for Spencer Hadley, who's out. And he's been playing so well. You just feel bad for guys who get hit with those injuries. It's not a good week when you have a team that comes in 22-point underdogs. You beat them handily, and then you have injuries to handle with it.
You beat them by 27 points, but I don't think anybody felt great about this because of all the turnovers. Now you've got to look ahead to next week. Another Friday game against Utah State, obviously because General Conference is on Saturday and Sunday, so they always play on Friday. We've all seen a lot of Utah State. We've seen what Chucky Keaton can do. What does BYU need to do to actually pull a game, a local Utah win, out of this season?
Well, I mean, you look defensively, it's all about containing Chucky Keaton. I mean, they have other weapons around him, there's no question. But he is what makes that team go offensively. And BYU's going to have their hands full, there's no question. And that's what this whole week is going to be. It's going to be trying to figure out a way to slow Chucky Keaton down. Now, offensively for BYU, I think it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. We've seen what this offense is capable of, especially from the quarterback position, if the offensive line can keep pressure off of him. And whether it's, we saw an increased passing efficiency today. I think that was something that fans feel a little bit better about. And with his running ability, if the offensive line can just do their job, Taysom's got the skill set to cause some problems. So I think it really boils down to that. Can the offensive line keep Taysom healthy? And defensively, what are you going to do to contain Chucky?
The other thing is Utah State, I mean, going into this game, it's always tough to play up at Romney Stadium, right? But this is probably the year that is going to be looked at. Everybody goes, BYU's not going to win this game. I mean, I think that they go into this game and people just are not going to expect them to win. And I think that bodes well for BYU because I think that they have been looked at as favorites in a lot of these games. And I like that feeling of the underdog thing. Have them come in for once and to be the guy who goes, you know what, we're going to steal this one from you guys because they know Utah State, boy, they prepare well. Chucky Keaton is so on fire. I mean, the guy is precision. He doesn't make the mistakes that we've seen BYU make. And I think it's going to be one of those games that BYU has to just rally around and go, this has to be our signature win, because they didn't get with Utah. And who knows what's going to go on the rest of the season. Their signature win is going to have to be at Utah State this year.
So the roller coaster season continues, the good, the bad, even inside the game. Some spectacular play by Taysom Hill, but the turnovers maybe overshadow a good win. Now we get to see what happens on Friday when BYU takes on Utah State. The final chance to beat a Utah team this season. For the Cougar Sports Saturday, guys, I'm Dave Noriega. For Jason Shepard and Alex Kirry.